We begin our report with opposing campaigns dueling for attention in battleground states. After debuting her running mate in Philadelphia Tuesday, Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz hit the road. They rallied in Wisconsin before flying to Detroit to campaign with labor union leaders. Harris used the events to attack her opponent, saying democracy is on the line in the election.
Someone who suggests we should terminate the Constitution of the United States should never again have a chance to stand behind the seal of the President of the United States.
Former President Donald Trump's running mate J.D. Vance campaigned in the same cities on the same days as Harris and Walz by design. He traveled to Wisconsin and Michigan Wednesday. Before that, he rallied in Philadelphia just hours before his Democratic opponents took the stage. Vance has been calling Harris and her VP pick too radical. He has also gone after Harris for not taking questions from reporters since before Biden stepped down.
Now, it's well known, of course, that President Trump and I will go anywhere. We'll answer any question because we respect the American people enough to actually ask them for their vote rather than sit in front of a teleprompter, read scripted lines, and run away from every reporter and every actual citizen who's going to decide this election.
CBS News political correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns joins me now from Washington. Caitlin, good to see you. Why isn't Trump joining Vance on the trail at this point? And what's the strategy behind Vance appearing in the same cities as Harris and Walz this week?
That's right, Lindsay. Vance has essentially been just following Harris to these various stops on his campaign. On his campaign plane. They actually crossed paths on the tarmac today. Their planes did, at least. But it is notable that it's J.D. Vance out there and not Donald Trump. We're not expected to see Donald Trump campaign until this weekend in Montana, where there is a significant Senate race there. So J.D. Vance has been kind of launched as the proverbial attack dog here. That's traditionally the role of the vice presidential pick, and they're putting that into action. They also seem to be kind of testing him on this national stage and seeing how he can go after Harris. Remember, this is a campaign, the Trump campaign, that has had to completely retool itself because their opponents have completely changed. It is now the Harris-Walz ticket, and the Trump campaign had been planning to run against Biden. So a rejiggering here, and we'll see whether the strategy changes now that we have a Democratic ticket.
Between picking Walz, the Democratic governor in the Midwest, and beginning this new campaign in Philly, Detroit, Wisconsin, is it safe to say the Harris campaign sees its electoral win in the blue wall?
Yes, this group of states are going to help determine who wins this presidential race. It is the path to victory for the Harris campaign. It is the path to victory for the Trump campaign. The Trump campaign acknowledged as much when they picked J.D. Vance as the vice presidential pick, someone who could essentially be parked in those Midwestern states. And now we see the same is true of the Harris pick of Walz. I was joking earlier that you might as well call Tim Walz the blue Walz, because that is the place that Democrats have to uphold in order to win here. There's no mistake that the campaign chose Pennsylvania as the place to launch this ticket. No mistake that they went to Wisconsin today, that they went to Michigan today. Those three states helped determine the presidency in 2016 and in 2020 by just the slimmest of margins here. And so these picks are really a play for those voters to be able to win at least one of those states.
I mentioned a couple of them, but what lines of attack have the Trump-Vance campaign made against the Harris-Walz ticket, and are they sticking? Do you get a sense that the line, like they're the most radical ticket ever will or even is now resonating with voters?
Yeah, it's interesting, Lindsay, because the Harris campaign is hoping that the attacks against Walz as one of the most, dangerous liberals in the country won't quite stick because of essentially his appearance and appeal to, folks in the Midwest, for example. They're kind of hoping that image, inoculates himself from those attacks. But you're also hearing a line of attack against Walz about his handling of Minneapolis, essentially, after the murder of George Floyd. They've really kind of homed in on his handling there. But it's also interesting because we're seeing new audio today released that Trump himself actually praised Walz for his handling of that crisis at the time. So that will be a consistent line of attack that we saw almost immediately after Walz was announced.
Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you.